All right, so there's people out there who see an opportunity and they get really excited about it. Maybe that opportunity is coding. And they get excited. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to make so much money." And there's like that honeymoon phase, right? And they stick with that thing for maybe a day, 2 days, maybe 2 weeks. But as that honeymoon phase dies down, so does their motivation. And slowly but surely, they don't stick to it and they don't accomplish a lot. Whereas there are other people out there who try out different things first to see what speaks to them. And let's say coding speaks to them, they stick with it and they accomplish their goal. I'm going to talk about what I think is the difference between these two and how we can be in the latter group. Without further ado, let's dive into it. So I remember vividly in high school, I was getting absolute terrible grades. And I was tired of that because, I was tired of disappointing my parents with the terrible grades and I didn't really like the terrible grades. So I would commit to myself. I would say, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm going to wake up early, going to have all my binders organized. I'm going to do like all these 10 different things to make sure I'm on the right track in life from now on, to make sure that my grades go up. And I'd commit to that, again, during the honeymoon phase, maybe for a week, 2 weeks, and then I'd fall off. And by the end of the semester, I'd still have terrible grades. And here's the main point I really want to focus on here. I was committing to too much at once. And the reason for this was because I was motivated by like these hustle culture type videos that I was seeing online. Of course, I was a young kid back then, so I was much more easier to influence. And these people would say like, "Oh, you can do it all, bro. You just need to be disciplined, bro. Sleep 4 hours a night if you have to. You just got to grind that." Oh my God. Look, we don't listen to those people. Throw them to the side. We don't listen to them. I feel they don't empathize with where a person is when they're in a position like where I was at, where you have like almost zero discipline. You can't go from that to like tomorrow only sleeping 4 hours. First of all, you should be sleeping 8 hours, period, because sleep, if you don't sleep enough, you're going to perform terrible in your studies the next day, right? That's just factual. There's research behind it, but we're not going to dive into that. But the point I'm making here is if you're at like level 0, like I was, where there's nothing in life you've really stuck to, you don't really have a good track record of being disciplined, you can't just jump all the way here, right? You're most likely you're going to fail if you try to do that, right? So with that said, what's the practical advice I can give? What did I do to go from being this well below average high school student, super, super average college student, but still getting to, the position that I'm in? And everything changed for me when I read the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. This book was the first book that showed me that it was okay to focus on less, right? So I decided, okay, from here on, I'm going to just focus on the one thing, which is coding. Even if this long list of other productive things that I want to do, even if I get none of them done the whole day, as long as I get my coding done, I'm good. That's a successful day for me, right? And that's the mentality I ran with. And once I started thinking like that, like everything changed for me, right? And I started sticking. I was coding again, even if I did nothing else productive all day, I was sticking with coding every single day. And yes, of course, some things will have to take a back seat this way. But again, this is what worked for me. And this is what helped me actually stick with my game plan and then get to the position where I am now, right? And I was studying like 6 to 8 hours a day. Like imagine that, someone, like me, who was well below average high school student, didn't really have a lot of discipline, studying 6 to 8 hours. This one thing type of mentality allowed me to do this, right? And by the way, you don't have to study 6+ hours. If you do deep work, which if you Google it, there's a great book about it. I won't dive into that too much in this video. But I believe if you do deep work, you can study 3 to 4 hours, maybe even 2 hours, and still get a lot of value, right? Now, there's one more thing I want to say, which I feel like is very, very important. Be kind to yourself throughout this whole journey, right? Progress is not going to be linear. Look, people doubted me a lot when I even pursued my computer science degree. Again, my track record was, terrible high school grades, not really great college grades. And then I went out and said, hey, I'm going to pursue this computer science degree. No one thought I was going to stick through with it. Because my track record before was I got excited about something and decided, I'm going to do it and stick with it for 2 weeks and then let it go, right? That was my track record. So no one thought I would follow through with it. But now here I am. I make damn good money for my age, and overall just in my career, I'm doing well, right? And it was a rocky road. Progress wasn't linear, right? It wasn't just all the up and up and up. It took me about 2 years from when I started pursuing my computer science degree to when I got my job offer. And in that middle time period, I didn't really make a lot of money, Like I had one software engineering internship which paid me a little above minimum wage, and that was it. But right after that internship, again, kept grinding, leveraged that internship experience, and then the first job offer I got out of university was for 6 figures. So, progress is not going to be linear. There's going to be days where, you're going to be tired, stressed out of your mind, thinking, is this even worth it? Am I smart enough to do this? And negative thoughts will flood in, but stick with it. Be kind to yourself throughout the process, and I'm confident you can accomplish it. So I believe in you, but what I believe, frankly, doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And I just want you to imagine for a second. Imagine that you're working remote, you're making 6 figures, you're making good money, and you're doing a job you actually enjoy, right? Imagine whatever sort of monetary goals that you had, because I definitely had some. Whether it was moving out, whether you wanted a nice car, whether you wanted to like vacation, explore the world more. Imagine that you have the money for that now and you are able to do it, right? Imagine that you stick with coding and now you have a high income skill that's yours. Nobody can take that from you. You have this high income skill that you can always fall back on. Imagine that. And that's the path you're headed on, right? So stick with it. The juice is worth the squeeze. And I believe 100% you can do this, all right? And ultimately, that's what I want to build here. I want to build our little community here where we help each other, support each other, keep it positive, and help each other get to that next level in life. So please do join our community. I'm going to leave my Instagram and TikTok somewhere over here. Please do support there. Please do like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.